Selected 1. Put an end to all of your current activities. I'm going to reveal something that requires your complete focus. This isn't your typical video. It's not spiritual amusement. This is a direct transmission regarding an incident that specifically involved you that occurred in heavenly dimensions. And I am aware that you will question what I'm saying. Before we continue, I need you to understand something, even though I know that part of you thinks this is just general information for everyone. If this video happened to come into your life at this precise moment, it's because your own changed soul led you here to get validation for a feeling you've had but been unable to express. You have impressed God. Furthermore, I'm not using flowery language to make you feel special when I say impressed. In higher dimensions, angels themselves are commenting on what I'm revealing. Something about how you've changed and evolved. In a way that is uncommon, the person you have become in spite of everything attracted divine attention. God sees billions of souls every second, you see. At the same time, He observes the whole human journey. He knows the end from the start, so nothing surprises Him. However, there's a distinction between being aware of what will occur and being impacted by how it transpires and how you came to be the person you are today. He was moved by that. I'm not referring to your outward accomplishments. I'm not referring to your job title or the amount in your bank account. I'm referring to the internal transformation you underwent when no one was around, the silent conflicts you fought that no one will ever know about, and the times you decided to keep going even though your entire being begged you to give up. That's what God was interested in. Turn on all notifications and subscribe to this channel now. Because what I'm going to tell you about the precise moment your evolution impressed the universe's creator will change your perspective on your own journey and keep you there through to the very end. Because I will demonstrate to you exactly what you did that caused even celestial beings to pause and watch as your metamorphosis triggered divine recognition. That is what God is planning to give you in response to the person you have chosen to be. And it is about to materialize in your physical life. Yes, 777. Let me take you to a scene that happened in heavenly dimensions in the comments, if you feel like you underwent a metamorphosis that no one around you really understood. This is not meant to be metaphorical or symbolic. Rather, it is a real event that took place in realms your physical eyes cannot see, but your spirit has always known exist. Every chosen person has a life event that is documented in what the ancients referred to as the Book of Life. It is more than just a list of actions, both good and bad. It is a comprehensive record of the soul's path. Every decision, every change, every growth moment. You have been writing your book since before you were even born. Each chapter chronicles a stage in your development. Each page includes information about the conflicts you have faced, the lessons you have learned, and the changes you have experienced. Additionally, your book was flagged for special attention due to a recent event. As you can see, certain angels are tasked with keeping an eye on changes that go beyond typical bounds. Most people behave in predictable ways. They may regress, grow a little stagnant, and then grow once more. It's a recurring cycle with variations that seldom yields anything particularly noteworthy from a cosmic perspective. However, during a time that ought to have destroyed you, you broke the pattern. Most people are broken by the circumstances in which you evolved. In circumstances that usually breed resentment and bitterness, you grew stronger. You gained wisdom and compassion. An automated alert and heavenly monitoring systems were activated by this deviation in your trajectory. Higher-ranking entities pulled your file for review, and after examining what had transpired and tracking your transformation step by step, they took an odd action. They brought your case to God's attention because of what you accomplished, not because you needed help or were in trouble, but because the Creator Himself thought it was worth seeing. Allow me to clarify how divine observation operates. Everything is visible to God. Yes, but omniscient awareness and focused attention are not the same thing. Similar to how you are aware of millions of things going on around you, but only really focus on a select few. Your transformation merited God's concentrated attention, which is only given to truly significant moments. Something that the angels present had hardly ever seen occurred when God focused his direct attention on the specifics of your development, not only on what you became, but also on the journey you took to get there. He was happy in a way that went beyond acceptance. You must comprehend the implications of this. God is difficult to impress. He used a word to create galaxies. Human minds can hardly begin to comprehend the infinite complexity of the systems he designed. He has been present for every heroic deed, sacrifice, and change in human history. The heart of the infinite, however, is moved by something about genuine transformation forged in fire. And you did just that. You see, given what you experienced, it would have been simple for you to grow resentful. Nobody would hold you responsible. The disappointments you encountered, the betrayals you endured, and the times when life seemed intent on shattering you. Any of those could serve as an excuse to break your heart forever. However, you failed to close it. You were fully aware of the pain. It wasn't suppressed or denied by you. You gave yourself permission to feel the full force of every disappointment, every hurt, and every broken expectation. Then you accomplished something that most people would never be able to. You turned that suffering into a catalyst for progress. What have been permanent scars turned into sources of wisdom. The betrayals that ought to have prevented you from trusting turned into teaching moments. Your identity should have been defined by your failures, but instead, they served as stepping stones to strength. Taking the lead of suffering and turning it into the gold of wisdom is spiritual alchemy in its purest form. And you accomplished it by making the unadulterated, genuine decision to not allow your circumstances to define who you are, rather than by using strategies or tactics. God desires to make that decision more than once. He wants to see what you would do each time life knocks you down. And each time you made the decision to rise, you did so as a better person rather than the same one. What impressed him was that choice's consistency. Let me tell you about a night that may not even be in your conscious memory, but that turned out to be crucial to how heaven views you. It was a night when you were totally alone, not physically, maybe, but spiritually and emotionally. You were up against something that seemed insurmountable. There was no one you could turn to who would genuinely understand what you were going through in that darkness, in that complete isolation, and the weight on your shoulders seemed intolerable. You had an option. You might give in to hopelessness. You might allow resentment to grow. You could conclude that there was no use in fighting and that the universe was against you. Rather, you accomplished something amazing. You discovered a glimmer of hope within yourself. Not from outside sources, not from words of encouragement or inspirational content. You discovered it in the core of your being, where your soul is connected to something bigger than yourself. And you continue using that little spark, finding light in the midst of total darkness, when there are no outside sources of hope, when all reason tells you to give up, is why that moment was marked with a special annotation in your book. That illustrates a relationship with divine essence that is inaccessible to most people. That night, you connected with something timeless that transcends situations, emotions, and the tangible. And you used it to simply take the next step when it seemed impossible, rather than for amazing feats. I've noticed that the description and pinned comment contain exclusive content for those who wish to delve deeper. Let me now reveal something that may surprise you. God wasn't the only one impressed by your transformation. It produced spiritual dimensions and ripples that continue to grow. You see, major changes don't occur in a vacuum because spiritual reality is interconnected. When a soul evolves in spite of overwhelming odds, it leaves a kind of blueprint, an energetic path that makes things a little bit easier for other souls going through similar difficulties. The universe became more conducive to change as a result of your evolution. This explains why the chosen ones are so important. It has nothing to do with being unique or better. It's about forging paths through unsurmountable terrain as trailblazers so that others can follow. The potential for all of humanity is increased by each selected individual who is able to turn darkness into light. And God is particularly moved by this because it is consistent with his ultimate purpose for creation, which is for beings to choose to develop, change, and become more than they were, not by coercion, but by free will. Conditions and free will that would have broken most people are exercised by you. When it would have been simpler to stay the same, you opted for change. When it would have been reasonable to become resentful, you decided to change for the better. That decision reverberated across dimensions. I would like you to consider something. Do you recall a recent moment when you felt strangely lighter, as if a burden you had been carrying for years had suddenly become lighter? When you experienced an almost automatic change in perspective and were able to forgive or let go of something that had been holding you back? It wasn't a coincidence. That marked the start of heaven's reaction to your change. You see, God does not merely watch from afar when he is moved by someone's evolution. He starts manipulating events to facilitate and quicken that development. Opportunities align and doors begin to open. The right people show up at the right time, not because you earned it through performance, but because your transformation showed that you would make the most of whatever resources you were given in order to continue developing into the best version of yourself. God gives money to people who demonstrate a commitment to personal development. And you've demonstrated that dedication over the years by consistently refusing to let the situation win. I must now tell you about something that is presently taking place, something that is being arranged in spiritual dimensions and will appear in your physical reality in unexpected ways. God has called in specialized angels to handle your situation rather than guardian angels who have always been there for you. When a person reaches specific transformation thresholds, the purpose of these entities is to assist in bridging the gap between material manifestation and spiritual evolution. It is their responsibility to make sure that your external circumstances reflect your internal transformation. You won't win the lottery tomorrow because of this. That is not how divine manifestation operates. In other words, alignments are being made. We are preparing connections, opportunities that precisely fit the person you've become, rather than the person you were, are being set up. It's important to comprehend this. It's common for people to pray for blessings they're not yet ready for. They request opportunities that they're ill-equipped to manage. And in his wisdom, God frequently withholds those things out of love rather than cruelty. Yet, transformation has given you a capacity. Your constant decision-making has strengthened your inner fortitude. Years of choosing progress over comfort, evolution over stagnation, have prepared you. At this point, your internal reality is being matched with the external conditions. Consider it. Have you recently noticed any subtle changes? Tiny details that, while seemingly unimportant on their own, come together to form a pattern. Discussions that sow the seeds of fresh opportunities. Concepts that appear out of thin air. Random interactions that have a sense of significance. These aren't random occurrences. These are the first acts of divine orchestration in response to your metamorphosis. God is impressed by more than just your transformation. He's actively contributing to your transformation. Most people overlook this portion of the story. They believe that receiving divine approval is the final step. The aim is to be acknowledged by God. However, acknowledgement is only the first step. When God is moved by a soul's development, he actively participates in that soul's ongoing development rather than acting as a detached observer. The same creative energy that created galaxies starts collaborating with you to mold your reality. There are times when this partnership is uncomfortable. Growth is always intentional, but it rarely is. From now on, every obstacle you encounter is neither testing nor punishment in the traditional sense. It's a curriculum created especially for your ongoing development. Here's what sets you apart from the majority of people who get to this point. You have demonstrated your ability to manage the curriculum because of your proven track record and years of experience, which show that you will choose transformation no matter how challenging the situation. God is willing to give you more. I am aware that you have been anticipating something. You might not be able to describe it precisely, but there has been a feeling that something more significant is on the horizon. That every step of preparation, change, and agonizing development was headed in a certain direction. You're correct, though not in the direction you might anticipate. It is leading somewhere. There's no destination in sight. It's causing your capacity to grow to such an extent that your present self can hardly understand it. You're not going to receive a reward from God. He's getting you ready for something that calls for the precise blend of abilities that your particular journey has cultivated. The precise injuries you treated, the unique obstacles you surmounted, and the precise knowledge you acquired from your precise experiences. It was all a prelude to something that only you can do. You will be able to reach people that no one else can. Because of your unique journey, you have access points that no one else has, not because you're superior to them. You gain credibility with those who are experiencing similar pain because of the pain you transformed. You can help others get through their own dark nights because of the darkness you have successfully traversed. Your purpose is starting to come to life in the coming days and weeks, not as a far-off idea, but as a tangible reality. Opportunities that feel specifically tailored to who you've become, not who you're trying to be or who you believe you should be, will show up and you'll know it's happening. Through transformation and fire, forge ahead. I'll tell you something that might help you see things more clearly. According to an old theory, souls who volunteer for challenging incarnations do so because they wish to gain strength that can only be acquired via hardship rather than because they have karma to pay. These souls intentionally lead difficult lives because they understand that the challenges they will encounter are precisely what they need to evolve into the kind of being they want to be. One of these souls is you. It wasn't because you made a mistake that your life was difficult. The universe was punishing you, so it wasn't hard. It was difficult since you selected a curriculum that would help you build the particular skills you needed for your mission, and you succeeded by meeting the challenges and growing as a result of them rather than avoiding them. Knowing what you volunteered for before you were even born makes God impressed. He is aware of the entire extent of what you have committed to, and He is witnessing you carry out that commitment with a poise and fortitude that respects the bravery of your initial decision. You chose this life because it offered you the chance to grow, not because of the difficult aspects in particular. And rather than being crushed by your decision, you've been transformed into something extraordinary that required bravery of a kind that transcends physical prowess. It required spiritual bravery and the will to continue growing even in the face of hurt. It would be simpler to make the commitment to remain open when closing. It would be comfortable to be determined to change when stagnating. You regularly display that bravery, and you're starting to realize that the change you experienced wasn't solely for you. It was training for the kind of service your evolved self can now offer. Service that fulfills you rather than depletes you. Instead of making a sacrifice that makes you less, make a contribution that makes you more. This is the change from transformation for its own sake to transformation in anticipation of impact. From personal development to development that uses your evolved presence to help others. You won't need to make an effort to assist others. Your presence will be beneficial. Your tale will be therapeutic. Others will undergo change as a result of your transformed energy. This is the essence of being truly chosen. Not picked for privilege, but for a purpose, not privileged, but able to uplift others. Transformed to better serve humanity rather than being cut off from it. And because you didn't object to this preparation, God is impressed. The fire that forged you did not flee. Before you were willing to put up with it, you didn't insist on knowing why. Even though the process was unpleasant, you had faith in it. Even though you couldn't see where you were going, you continued. You remained steadfast, even when it seemed silly to have faith. God is moved by that kind of faith perseverance, and trust in ways that big gestures could never accomplish. I have to tell you what comes next now. Your spiritual dimensions recognition is about to start showing up in the physical world as a sequence of alignments that will feel like life finally allowing you to be who you've become, rather than as a spectacular, supernatural event. Relationships that support your development will grow stronger. Relationships that prevent it will end on their own. Neither movement will need to be forced. What matches will be automatically attracted to the frequency you now carry, and what doesn't will be repelled. Resources will start to flow in almost magical ways. Consistent funding that demonstrates your purpose's support, rather than large sums all at once. When you need something, you'll notice that it shows up in ways you couldn't have planned yourself. Sometimes, your purpose will become more clear to you. Your sense of purpose will start to clear up, revealing the next step with ever-increasing precision rather than revealing everything at once. Most significantly, you will feel a calm that is independent of the situation, a profound sensitivity that holds steady in the face of turbulence outside. This is a sign that a person has undergone a significant enough metamorphosis to no longer rely on outside approval to define who they are. This is what God is providing in response to your metamorphosis. It has nothing to do with alignment or objects. Peace, not rewards. Collaboration with God and building a meaningful life. You should live a life that reflects who you have become. And what is currently being planned is that matching. As we near the conclusion of this revelation, I want you to understand something very important. It has nothing to do with you being superior to other people. It's about staying true to your own path. You didn't try to outdo other people or compare yourself to them. You made a commitment to improve after comparing yourself to your previous self. The transformation that impressed God was the result of that dedication maintained over time. Not skill, not unique skills, not birth circumstances. Dedication. This implies that anyone can follow your example. Transformation is a choice that anyone can make. Anyone can make a commitment to progress. Your experience demonstrates that it is feasible, and getting better is feasible. For those who are still in the fire, you have turned into a lighthouse. People will be inspired when they come into contact with your story, either directly or through the energy you embody. They will witness proof that transformation is effective. They will be given hope that something worthwhile is being forged by their own fire. This is a component of your goal to merely exist as evidence that has been transformed. Living is evidence that the process is effective. You are not required to teach, preach, or persuade anyone. Your life will tell you. Your presence will serve as evidence. Your metamorphosis will motivate. And the more you develop, the more God will be impressed. Because you haven't reached your destination when it comes to transformation. You've adopted it as a way of being. You've developed into a transformational person. Someone who believes that evolution makes sense. The true accomplishment is not who you are now, but rather who you are determined to become. Not the finished transformation, but the continuous transformation. God knows you'll continue to develop. He sees your soul's path, and He is as impressed by what He sees in your future as He is by what you have already achieved. You have not yet reached your full potential. You have only just begun. Today's version will seem limited compared to the person you'll be in a year. You can't imagine the capabilities of the person you'll be in 5 years. By the time this life ends, you will have changed so much from who you are now. God will be watching at every turn, and the comparison will be all but pointless. Not assessing, admiring. I'm not passing judgment. Having a party, not far away, deeply involved in your unfolding. You can choose to be in this relationship, not faith. Connection, not guidelines. Link, not a performance. Collaboration. This is something you've earned via transformation. Transformation makes you more receptive to receiving divine love, not because it merits it. Through your own development, the barriers that prevented you from experiencing divine intimacy have been dismantled, You can now get what has always been provided. You can now enjoy what was always accessible. You can now walk in partnership with the infinite in ways that your former self could not. To be able to receive the love that was always there is what it means to impress God, not to increase His love for you. To build a capacity for the relationship, not to gain His attention. He started paying attention. You now possess that ability. Through transformation, you created it. Your metamorphosis has triggered their unique knowledge about how to keep evolving in ways that preserve heavenly partnership. And heaven is now responding for those who have come here and wish to strengthen this connection with the divine recognition. These insights are less expensive than a pizza. And as a bonus, you get a full audiobook and a 5-minute meditation guide. If you're drawn to learn more about how to live in a state of constant transformation that still amazes celestial dimensions, access can be found via the link in this video's description and pinned comment. If you've been feeling a sense of divine recognition, if this revelation clarifies something you've been feeling but were unable to express, or if it clarifies why your journey has felt different from everyone else's, tell us about it. To learn more about how chosen ones follow their own path of transformation and purpose, subscribe to this channel and enable all notifications. Because souls being forged need to acknowledge and support one another. Share this video with someone who has also experienced transformative fire. 777 Bright. Please confirm in the comments that you understand the cosmic significance of your transformation and that you are prepared to continue evolving in collaboration with divine attention. Before you leave, watch the video that is currently playing on your screen to see what happens when the transformation of a chosen person starts to bring blessings that validate all that heaven has been working on behind the scenes. We are stronger when we work together.